What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching the Star Wars edition of the Ragin Nation Show. This is just a web series where we talk about all things that matter to me in the Star Wars cinematic universe. This is episode number 9, and I'm sure by now you've all checked out the new Star Wars Episode 7 Force Awakens trailer. It was very, very awesome. I did a reaction and a review for it, and man, I cannot imagine how awesome it would be watching it on the big screen with big sound. Well, that's what happened over last weekend at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. A lot of fans were treated to the awesomeness of watching it on the big screen. What they were also treated to was the teaser trailer for Star Wars Rogue One, something that hasn't been shown online yet. Of course, there was a couple of leaked versions out there, but of course the best way to watch it is of course on the big screen. Well, there was a panel that took place at Star Wars Celebration talking about Rogue One, and apparently these Rogue One is going to be the start of their anthology, Star Wars Anthology. That's what they're officially calling it. They're not going to call it Star Wars spin-off films or Star Wars standalone films, even though that's what they are. The official name for it is called Star Wars Anthology. Gareth Edwards is going to be directing Star Wars Rogue One, and Josh Trank is going to be directing the next Star Wars Anthology film to be released in 2018. So apparently these anthology films are going to be standalone films, okay? So they don't directly connect with the episodes 7, 8, and 9. They can take place at any point in time in the Star Wars universe. After all, they are all standalone films, but they just take place in the universe. This is an idea that George Lucas originally conceptualized, and he loved the idea of having these stories centered around these characters that we don't get to see a whole lot of in the films, okay? He wanted to see stories that aren't necessarily centered around the main characters. I'm talking about, the Luke Skywalkers, the Han Solo, Princess Leia, all that, okay? We're not going to be seeing stories centered around them. We're going to be seeing stories centered around these characters that we just see the background, somewhere in the background in episode 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. But anyways, that's what's happening. Now, the first one coming out is, of course, Star Wars Rogue One, directed by Gareth Edwards. And, well, there were some details spilled over at the panel. Okay, first of all, you already know it's directed by Gareth Edwards. It's from a script that was originated from Gary Whitta. In addition, Chris Weitz will be doing some work on the script, okay? Kathleen Kennedy is producing. Alexandra Desplat will be scoring the film, so it's not going to be scored by John Williams, which is going to be very, very interesting. I'm curious to know what a Star Wars film is going to be like without John Williams' touch. But it sounds pretty appropriate because John Williams always gives that Sith sound, that Jedi sound, that grand scale, I'm not saying that this movie isn't going to be that grand scale, but what it's not going to have is the sounds of the Jedi or the Sith. And the main reason is because this is a film that's not going to have much of a Jedi or Sith presence, if at all. Okay? So what it's going to be about is, I'm just going to read the synopsis here. It's just one line. It's Rogue One takes place between episode 3 and 4 and is about a band of resistance fighters who unite for a daring mission to steal the Death Star plans. We've heard this thing before, actually. I've heard this a story a couple months ago, so the rumors were correct. This is what it's going to be about, and I'm super, super excited. Check out the shot, okay? This shot where you see these rebels dashing across this field in the dark. It looks really, really cool. Reminds you of a kind of like a covert operation or, a scene from, a battle, like a war scene. Well, check this out. Gareth Edwards did mention that it's going to feel like a war movie, considering the fact that it is Star Wars. Check out this list of credits. We have their director of photography, Greg Fraser, who worked on Zero Dark 30. On top of that, they have the VFX supervisor, Neil Corblood, who worked on Black Hawk Down and Saving Private Ryan. Okay, if this doesn't sound like, a good team that could put together a Star Wars film, I don't know what is, okay? So I'm really, really excited about this. This is the start of their Star Wars cinematic universe, and they're calling it the Anthology. And I love this idea because the Star Wars universe is very, very grand. There's a lot of stories to be told. There are a lot of characters that, I would love to know more about, and there's definitely some very, very exciting stories that took place during the time of, or rather between the times of all these episodes that we did not know about. And well, we're going to have an opportunity to see them, starting with Star Wars Rogue One, directed by Gareth Edwards, okay? Anyways, there's a lot of stories out there. Why don't you let me know in the comment section below what kind of story you'd like to see, which took place between, you know, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's a lot that could happen. And there's also stories that took place from the novels, from the comic books, Shadows of the Empire. There's a lot out there. Let me know what you would want to see from director Josh Trank, who's going to be directing the next anthology film in 2018. Anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name's Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Chewie, we're home.